everybody, welcome to week 3 of collections. This week I wanted to talk to you about what you should be looking at because it's an important one in terms of your second assignment, and I know you're probably all thinking about your first assignment at the moment because it's due really soon, but I just wanted to emphasise that this is a really important week for your second assignment so you don't skip over it. So what we're looking at this week, go into the modules, is module 2, the role of policy. So there's a short bit of the textbook to look at, but it's a really important thing to have a look at. And then the rest of it here is all about collection development policies. Now sometimes these are called collection management policies, sometimes they're collection development policies. If you've been really strict about it, a collection development policy is like a subset of a collection management policy, because managing a collection involves developing it, but it also involves weeding it and evaluating it and doing things outside the whole idea of developing it, which sort of suggests making it grow and changing it to fit the needs of the users. So collection development is usually seen as a subset of collection management. So when you start looking for some policies to have a look at, and we've got a whole bunch of them here for you to have a look at. What have we got there? 7. And there's a whole range there, really huge ones, huge libraries, and some smaller ones as well. But you'll see that some of them are called collection policies, some of them are called management policies, and some of them are called development policies. So effectively those terms are interchangeable. But if you've been really strict about it, a collection development policy is a subset of a collection management policy. But it doesn't always work out that way in real life. But the important thing to think about is your second assignment. In fact, let's go and have a little look at it. If we go up to our subject outline, jump into this second assessment here. So it's not due to the 23rd of April, so it's only the 18th of March, so you've got loads of time. But the reading that you do this week will help you with this assessment, where you have to look at one of these collection policies and write about it. So you need to introduce it and then discuss according to these couple of sort of prompts here, which is sort of looking at how well the policy does its job, essentially. We'll get back into that later. We'll talk about it a lot more, but I just wanted to give you the context of why this week is important. So if I jump back to, sorry for scrolling all over the place, jump back to this week's learning module, still inside block 1, role of policy. Okay, so do that reading, which is important, but then when you're reading through all this, think about what I'd read that second assignment assessment first, just so you can see the sort of things you should be looking out for, and then work through the content for this module, and that will give you some bit of a background and help you with that second assessment. Really good things to look at here are these 2 resources here, Writing and Evaluating a Collection Management Policy. These are really cool resources. This one's put out by our industry association, or they both are. This one is about school libraries and this one is about public libraries. So these documents guide those types of libraries in how to create a collection management policy and what sort of things should be in there, what sort of, the role of the policies, all sorts of really useful stuff about if you were starting from scratch, how would you write one of these things, what should be in it, how is it going to be used, what's important, which bits of information goes where. So that's really good to have a look at. So if you do nothing else this week, have a look at these 2 documents and have a look at one of the examples up here of a really nice one. That's a really nice one. National Library is great. Some of them are for smaller collections, so they have a different sort of focus, but they're all interesting to look at. So that's my big tip for this week, is to read the textbook, read those 2 guidelines from ALIA down here, and read the second assessment, and with what you need to do for that in mind, read through the rest of the module. And of course you'll be working on your first assessment as well. So I hope that helps you focus what you should be working on this week. I hope you enjoy reading about policy. Once we've got the whole idea of policy under our belts, then we'll start looking at the whole collection management life cycle. So it's looking at the whole, the sort of the practical processes and some of the thinking that goes on behind those processes, when we're actually building our collections and developing them and managing them. So this is like setting the scene, and then next week or the next module, we'll kick off with exactly what libraries and other collecting institutions get up to. Hope you enjoy it. See you soon.